Anyways,
Well, then, our office hours to be there.
I'll call this meeting of the Ellsworth Township Trustees to order. Roll call. Trustee Spellman.
Here.
Trustee Tillman.
Here.
Trustee Houston here. Also, our fiscal officer, zoning officer, fire chief, and maintenance supervisor, and probably however many other. I welcome you all. We're glad to see you here. With that, would you please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Minutes. I'll make a motion on the minutes.
Reviewed the minutes, and I'll make a motion to accept them as finalized.
You want a second?
Yeah, I'll second. Sorry. I thought you said you were going to read them.
No.
Okay, I second them.
Trustee
They're there
Spellman?
for, yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes.
And they'll be up here for review for the public, right?
Right.
We have copies of them.
They're right here.
Okay.
Yes, anybody that wants a copy, well, once we've signed them, why then she can pass them out. Fiscal report.
Today's balance in the bank, $920,628.99. I spoke to the agent for Dearborn Life, and the $95 overpayment has been applied to our account. So at $74 a month, that should pay, October was paid by check. That should pay November and December. The agent's out of her office this week, and she will get in contact with me next week, and I'll know for sure exactly how she applied the overpayments. The update on the audit is that it is in the final stages of review, and they will let us know as soon as it is finished. I have a bill, and I got an issue with how I'm going to pay it. It's from your brother-in-law.
What about?
Well, we're not allowed to do business with related parties. It's in the reorganization minutes. And I had no idea that he had been contacted, so
I will take care of it.
thank you. That's it.
Well, while we're speaking about this, I would like you to explain to me why you paid John Deere Landscapes the same bill twice.
I didn't know I did.
Well, you did.
Okay,
Now, that ought to be against some rules, too.
okay.
So we will start and watch a little closer.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did not realize it had been paid twice. I tend to...
Well, it sounds like your bookwork is a little sloppy if you pay a bill twice.
Okay.
I know we've had some trouble with you paying them once, but it's the first time we've had trouble with them paying them twice. I did forget one part of this. I did not ask if there's any additions to the agenda. I apologize for that. So, you want to add that about
Air conditioning. Discuss the air conditioning.
under old
Update.
business?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, maintenance report.
The second floor storage room for the fire department was completed. We had a budget of $850, and it was $485.70 to complete that project. I put downspouts at the pavilion. We've had a water issue east of that pavilion during the winter, and the cost for putting downspouts from the pavilion down to the pond for material was $256.15. I gave Karen those bills. So we have one burial at Ellsworth Cemetery. One of the things is we're working on the post office, and I've had people come, don't know where the maintenance building is. I put together, I want to share with you, those are colored copies of some signs that we can put up. That United States Post Office Service sign out by the marquee, instead of just, we have the letters up there that say Post Office. And then that maintenance sign we can put on the maintenance door, and it has a phone number and it has information about the cemeteries. Just something that, if you want to consider that, the prices are $175 and $50.
Maybe a slot for mail or drop for correspondence, anybody wants to give them maybe.
We probably could put just a small mailbox on the door. We don't want to cut a hole in the door.
Like the old style in the city.
Just put a mailbox out there if somebody wants to drop something in the mailbox. Since the post office isn't open all the time now.
I just thought of it too, you should put the maintenance email on here too.
Correct.
Yeah. Once you get one.
Yes. We're going to get an official Ellsworth Township maintenance
Okay.
email. Yes.
And we had some discussion or thoughts, Matt and I, about whether the word should say postal service or post office.
Well,
I say post office.
if you look at the mailbox, the drop box, that's exactly what it says. It says U.S.
Yeah.
Postal Service. So whatever you want to put on it is fine with me.
What do most people read when they're going down the road today?
Post office.
I vote for post office myself.
Yeah,
I do
that's
too.
why I do too.
Okay.
We can change it?
Yeah.
Not a
So,
problem. Okay.
Could I make a motion to approve that now?
Yes.
Approve the expenditure of $225 to municipal signs for 2 new directional signs at the maintenance post office building.
I'll second that motion.
Excuse me. Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Toman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes.
Okay, there's been some changes with the green team of recycling. It's called single streaming. You don't separate your items, you just throw them in the bin. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have been confused about that. That's a new program they're doing now. They have just put them all in the bin. A lot of folks have been leaving some things outside of the bin, and please don't leave them outside. Put them in the bin. I have 3 quotes and different information about a roof for the outdoor post office boxes. And I know that's on the agenda, but I provided that in my packet. Trouble supply cabinets for the fire hall. They were actually, we went and looked at those. They were ordered and they were delivered. We're going to get those up next week. I do have in your packet the invoice for that. You'll see 2 invoices. The first one was they forgot that we were tax exempt, so I had them send another invoice, and the invoice is $846.20.
I believe in talking to Matt, we need to make a motion for this and to have a check made out immediately, as soon as possible for that amount. Is that kind of...
No, this actually went on the maintenance credit card.
Oh, you did put it on the credit card?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Then never mind.
You're not using it at Home Depot though.
No, trouble supply.
We just need a motion then to pay for them, I believe.
And you got the amount?
$846.20. $846.20.
Let's make a
Even though
motion
it's on a
to
credit card, we still motion it. right?
approve that expenditure, $846.
$6.20. Yeah. Make the motion. I'll second the motion.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston?
And we also cleaned the carpet in the fire hall and the zoning office, and there was a spot in the radio room we took care of too. Didn't cost the township anything. That coffee for the cause, they paid for the rental of the machine and the material, the cleaning material. And so we finished that up yesterday, and it looks pretty good.
Sure does. Good job.
I didn't get in to see it yet. Thank you very much.
One more question on maintenance. You put the sheriff's sign out front, which was out front, and that looked very nice. And you took the old one. Is that the one that's hanging above the
Yes.
the door? That also looks nice, and it makes a statement, I think.
I've had quite a few comments about it.
They noticed? Which one? The road one or the door one?
No, the door one, people have made a comment about that. That looks nice.
That's good. All right.
It designates that the sheriff outpost number 2, Mahoney County Sheriff's outpost number 2 is in Ellsworth. It's positioned above our post office, and we've maintained that for years, and I think that began under Mr. Jim Trafficant. So,
I believe it did, didn't it?
yes, it did.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I was going to add something, maintenance.
Go ahead.
Did I bring up about his credit card? I think if you show an example where we're approving some things, but you're using your credit card to pay for them. We have a relatively low limit of $2,500 on the credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tough by the time you buy your regular items and buy these 1 or 2 special things, we're at the limit or we can't. So I would like to know if, make a motion to increase his limit. Just, it's either that or we have to write check. It's not his spending limit, it's the limit for things we can do.
Yeah, he still has under our stuff about the limit
It's
that
just
he
a-
can spend on his own.
Right. But like we're going to buy the signs, I either have to get, the company will either take a credit card or we have to get a check. They're not really used to the check system, so there's certain things in today's world where it's kind of hard to get somebody to
Well, what would you
send
like
them
to
a
try
check.
to up it to?
Well, we could up it to anything you want. Right now, it's $2,500. I don't know if it could be $5,000 or $7,500. I don't know, somewhere in there. But it's not like he's going to spend it. It's just there if we need it.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree. It's just, what do we want to, and maybe we can't set, maybe we could say we want to up it to 15, but they won't. You know, I don't know
I
what.
went to the bank.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And what will, okay, and what will they up it to?
I should have said that. They're going to make us fill out a new application and put the desired amount. There's no,
But they're not going to change the credit card number and all that.
no, they're
It's
just,
just-
for some reason, you have to fill out an application to do it, that's all. Just for the new amount.
Well,
So
what would you
don't say-
like to make a motion?
And it won't impede and it won't interrupt the...
No, you
No.
still use it, it's just...
Just if you spend $7,500, that's it for the year. You get to spend it all at once.
Well, he's not going to spend that much. It's just, there are many times, we've noticed it a lot, where it's very inconvenient to,
And that credit card makes it a lot more convenient for us. And
so...
Do we have a number that we're talking, Chairman?
Well, that's what I'm asking. What do we want
Well,
to
I mean,
say?
that's a number we have to discuss. Right now, it's 2,500. I don't know how relevant the number is to anything. 5,000, 7,500, anywhere in between, just for,
You want to go for 7,500?
yeah, I think. It's not saying we're going to spend it, it's just there if we need it in a hurry.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve up to $7,500 on the new credit card application for the maintenance usage
For the credit limit.
for the credit limit.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Excuse me again. Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. I do have one question. Like I have a business one,
Mhm.
and it is automatically protected from fraud. A lot of the personal ones are not. Is this one, do you know?
Well, this is a business, technically a business one with the township, and it has Matt's name on it as the user,
Okay.
but it's technically the township's. But we will
You might
check
inquire
into
about that,
We'll
yeah.
check into that for fraud. I'm assuming nowadays most, you say business ones are protected?
Mine are.
Are or aren't?
Are.
Oh, are.
Mine are,
I was assuming
mine are automatically protected.
that they all are, so.
I got them through PNC and Chase, and they're both,
Okay, but we'll fill out the application and double check. If it isn't, we'll back off or go later, okay?
okay. Anything else under maintenance?
No.
Zoning report.
The last report was September 10th of 2014. Since that time, I wrote one permit for a single-family residence dwelling with two-car garage at Dick Lake, which is 11365 North Kiwatani Trail.
That's in Campfield. That's 1,400 square feet. That's a new residence. I wrote permit for the steel storage building that you see on Route 224. It's a large one. It's 70 by 140. It's agricultural. It's 9314 Akron Campfield Road, Campfield, Ohio 44460. It's for grain, hay, and horses. Also wrote a permit for a deck with a roof at 6403 Duck Creek Road, Berlin Center, Ohio. That was a flat fee. Also had a complaint for a school bus parked in the rear property of 13,000 Western Reserve Road. I sent a letter to the property owner, gave her 30 days to remove the school bus. It's an unlicensed school bus. I did receive a call back from her, so I'll follow up on that. Also sent a letter to 633 Elk Road on a complaint for excessive junk and garbage around a mobile home and an unlicensed car. I was by there a couple times and it looked improved, but I'll keep up on that before I make a call to the health department. The first time I did go by it, it was pretty bad. And I believe it's 633 Elk Road. I'm also scanning the current permits to the computer, so I also have a computerized record, also with the written records. And I have to go backwards on those, but I'm doing the current ones. So they'll be in the computer, and then I'll back those up to a jump drive. Also sent a letter to GenCon contractors for permits taken out sometime in 2009. I want to verify as far as the permits that were written to 10160 Western Reserve Road. I did receive a call from the contractor to that address, and permits were taken out through the county and they were extended. The contractor is going to look for the permits. I will look through our records. He believes it was in 07, 08, or 09. So I just want to confirm the permits on that property.
Okay. He's narrowed it down to 3 years, huh?
Somewhere in there.
Nice of them.
Also had an inquiry as to zoning at 11173 Akron Campfield Road. Received a call from the ATF. The owner's interested in selling firearms at that address. Wanted to know the zoning at that address, which would be 2 doors down from here. It appears to me it's residential, so I'll follow up on the call to the ATF.
We hope there's a procedure for him to change the status of that property or go through that application process.
Yeah, the procedure, it looks like you'd have to go through zone change. So I'll follow up on that with the owner. That's all I have.
Thank you. Fire Department.
Okay, since our last meeting, we've had 9 medical calls, 3 motor vehicle crashes, 3 EMS transports, and 2 service calls. We had given mutual aid to Berlin Center, North Jackson. Basically, with the runs, maintenance, drills, miscellaneous, 345 firefighter hours for the month. All right, we have October 24th, we have Safety Day at the high school, and it will be in combination with Berlin Center and Ellsworth fire departments, going through the classes just for the kids. And then we have Trick or Trunk October 26th, and then obviously Trick or Treat the 30th, so the Thursday. So anyways, this month I'd like to order $50 of just miscellaneous office supplies out of our office supply budget column, and then in our budget for the year we put $25 $2,500 in furniture and machinery, et cetera, et cetera. I would like permission to use $500 of that money for fire prevention, so we can buy some miscellaneous goods and things like that for the kids, for the school. We buy, little fire hats for the little kids and erasers and pencils, and pass out at the elementary school, and for trick or trunk, things like that. So, and that's basically all I need. So
Change that 500, do we have to do a revised for the county, or just do it internal?
You can just,
Do it internal?
because we didn't appropriate for
fire prevention.
Fire prevention.
Right.
They do it every year.
So $50 for office supplies, $500 for fire prevention. So,
I can make that motion then to approve $550, $500 for the training and prevention, and $50 for his office supplies.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Toman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. EMS?
I have one invoice for consumable EMS supplies for $126.60. Need that approved for payment. I have the receipt here for that. And then I have a quote for equipment for the squad. It's $499, and what it is a child restraint system for the squad. It's 3 different types of systems that attach to our adult cot, and it puts the child or infant or baby in a 5-point harness, so we could safely transport them in an emergency situation. We ended up having a car accident, and we were able to take the infant's car seat with us. Thankfully, it wasn't damaged, and we were able to safely transport the child. But if, in fact, we don't have a car seat or other means to secure the child, we'll have the ability to do that.
What did you say it was?
$500, and that covers, it's 3 different systems, and it covers from 0 to 100 pounds. I did some research. There are a couple other manufacturers and different types of car seats for kids and harnesses, but a lot of them are restricted to like up to 40 pounds, to where these will do up to 100 pounds, which will cover most of your kids, and then over 100 pounds will safely secure to the cot that we have. So requesting that we can purchase the child restraint systems for this one.
$499.99,
I
right?
believe that's what the quote
It's
is.
in front of Karen. I can prove that if you get that number.
Yes, $499 even.
I'll make that the motion, then we approve $499 for the approved child restrainer for our EMS.
And you want to do the $126.60 for bill?
For supplies, yeah.
You want to add that?
And $126.
And 60 cents.
Supplies, 60 cents.
Cover it in one.
Okay. You done?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes.
With that, I just received the reimbursement from last month for the copier and office supplies that I bought. I don't have the receipt with me, and I don't know if you have the receipt that I gave to you after the meeting last month, but I thought it was $482 and the checks for $462. If we could look into that and
Sure.
let me know the difference. Appreciate it. If you need me to resend it, I can
No, I have
resend it.
it attached to the...
Okay. Thank you.
I do have to ask where our billing status stands, and Bob, you said about changing things, so I'd like a little
Sure,
input about
absolutely.
where we're at. and
Brian had typed up a form that we discussed at last meeting. He's now going around approaching every firefighter, every EMT, paramedic individually, requesting a signature from them once they read it. So Here it is. Oh, there it is.
I can read it out loud, yeah, if I
Want me
can.
to read it?
Attention. In order to ensure that all run reports are done in a timely fashion, a new policy has been established. Discipline for missing incomplete reports will take place as follows. First offense, suspension until report is complete. Second offense, suspension for 30 calendar days. Third offense, suspension for 180 days, reinstatement by test. Reports must be completed immediately following the call, no exceptions. Enforcement will take place on any run not complete within 24 hours of the alarm time. In addition, any paramedic that does not work for 90 days will be placed on an inactive status and be subject to a protocol test prior to resuming work. Please take these changes seriously, as there can be no compromises. Thank you. And you say that you take one of these and then they sign it? that
Brian,
they've read it, or-
as the battalion chief, has been taken around every paramedic, EOT, getting them to sign it and make sure...
As they receive it,
As they receive
they
it.
signed a
They put it
receipt
in their
copy.
file.
Well, thank you very much.
Seem to be helping in getting them done?
Yeah, I mean, everything's up to date, so with the rechanging the laptops, you know, the computer and the scanner and everything, I mean, they're starting to get done, so, which is good.
So my discussion is, these are obtainable, but we didn't design something we could fail at on a routine basis. Did we? I mean, because of, you know, these are pretty rigid lines, and I understand it's aggressive. I see that too.
Well, it has to be, because, you know, billing needs done at the time, you know, it can't be done a month later. You know, granted, we've had a slow year this year, but if we miss calls or miss insurance payments due to late reports, it slows us down, so.
And then we've also, I mean, Karen will attest to, we've held some payments from some EMS personnel on some other training classes and things like that until some other EMS things were done as well. So, you know, we're making sure the EMS side gets, you know, taken care of, so.
Okay, so I got to make a note, new policy. And just so we understand, give me the rundown of how many paramedics?
2 paramedics,
One intermediate,
1 intermediate, 1 first responder,
7 or 8 EMTs.
8 EMTs, yeah.
Okay, and are all of those considered very active people? Or
It's volunteer.
It's volunteer, yeah.
It comes as they go.
no, I know, but I'm saying one of your lines here was if you don't work for 90 days. So I'm assuming that's how we're gauging activity, if you participate within 90 days. Is that a safe assumption?
Mhm.
So do most of these people participate within 90 days?
Correct. Yes, they do.
Okay.
Probably be pretty unusual to go 90 days without a call.
Correct.
Well, I mean, it's not the call. I mean, I'm reading it that they show up for a call. Is that the way it is?
We'll have to call, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's who comes. Is that, am I reading it the right way?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you have calls. Yeah. It's cool. Thanks.
But thank you again.
Yeah, thanks again.
We'll see if it works, but thank you for taking the attention.
Karen, you need
We
a
do
copy of this
appreciate
to
it.
put in.
Yeah, it was very proactive. Good.
Yes. Okay, committee reports. I'm going to go first. I'll get mine out of the way. First of all, about this bill, I believe Matt checked around and it was the cheapest price, and I think when Matt first contacted him, he did not know that was my brother-in-law, since there's no name. But since it is a problem, I would like to make a statement that that will be a donation from me to the township. Second,
Is there another way to do that, Chairman? I mean, I think it's an honest mistake that...
that's the cleanest way. We don't want the fiscal officer to be caused any problems or have anything that might cause her any problems.
May I comment on that? I
Sure.
have a little knowledge about this.
Oh, yes, I know you have.
Okay. How far do you, just in your opinion,
Are you talking to me?
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Since you brought it up, how far do you go in relatives or relations?
I don't know. That's a question for the prosecutor, I would think.
I think I have it in my pile back here, but I don't want to go through it right now in front of everybody, but I'm pretty sure it's written down somewhere. I just wonder if do you go to cousins, do you go to
I have no
third
idea.
cousins, do you go
But
to...
if you do go through and find it,
No,
could you
because it's his brother-in-law.
just
you know.
inform us?
The only thing I will say about this is I thought it was very poor to bring it up tonight when you could have
Well,
brought it up any time
I
in
tried
the
to
future.
email it to you, but I've been having problems with my email.
And that's very convenient too.
Well, okay, whatever.
But I think it's very poor that you had to wait and bring it up tonight. You could have brought that up at any time. So anyways,
Okay.
it's taken care of. He will get his money. That's no
But I'm
problem.
just looking at the future.
Well, that person been delivering slag, I think, before anybody in this room was here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He worked for the township for a good many years.
This issue could be a little more sensitive to us because a lot of people in town are related to each other, so I just don't know how far it goes.
And it's certainly
Be
something
interesting to
that's
find
been talked about, and the chair will tell you that at the winter conference, that this is it's just not Ellsworth, this is through the
No.
state, and the efforts are of how prudent or how feasible it is to do business without some relatives in certain ways in small communities, and how fiscally responsible it is when you think about how far you have to drive at $4 a gallon to get somewhere when something costs 64 cents down the road. So
Yes, it's an ongoing problem.
and hopefully it's going to be talked about in Columbus in greater depth. Not here tonight.
Second of all, I've been kind of pushing about having that room cleaned out next to the zoning office. So Matt did get the room done above the, fixed up so that the fire department can move some of theirs. And the cabinets that we talked about are going up in the kitchen, which will get the rest of the stuff out. Then once we get everything out of that room, we're going to retile it, get it ready, and start to move the stuff out of the zoning office so that the zoning office can be more of a, more pleasant to visit. Maybe have a table there that they can put stuff out to get those files. So we are working on that. And with that, that's about all I have. Bob?
Okay. I guess the big thing is the air conditioning that we approved at the last meeting at a certain dollar amount. I believe it was $8,000 to do phase 1 of air conditioning at the fire hall. And after we got into it a little bit and actually started to order supplies, we tweaked it a little, added maybe some heat pumps to them so it's more flexible, and increased the size a little bit of the outside units so that we can easily, with little cost, add on to the rest of the building for inside. So that drove the cost up from our $8,000 to $95,000. I actually have a hard bill here. Where's the bill? Let's see. It's,
And Trustee Tobin, there's some hardware also?
yeah, we're going to have to.
Okay.
We didn't
Well, I want
address
to
it.
discuss another thing before we do anything on that.
Well,
Go ahead, but I don't want to...
Jump in now, go ahead.
Well, the only thing, I sat there and Matt and Earl and I were talking. He's saying like $1,800 to do the rest of it.
Mhm.
And I'm just, in my own mind, wondering if we shouldn't just go ahead and do that at this time when we're in the process. For two reasons. Number one, we're going to have everything opened up, the ceilings down
Yeah.
and all of that. The other thing is, we're kind of relying on Earl to do this, and what if Earl happens to decide to move
No
to...
laughing.
So we lose our expertise, I hear you, Chair. Yeah.
Well, it's not the expertise, but
It's
it's
from a
like,
good
it's
sense.
like, you know, if you started to build a house, and you got 4 rooms built, and then you say, I'm done, now somebody else has got to come in and try to figure out where you are. It's not,
Yeah,
you know...
as well, you do bring up a good point, because when we added on to phase 1, it brought phase 2 a lot closer for just a little bit of extra money. So that's what you're saying.
Yes.
So why not do it? Besides, they're there, they're doing it.
Right.
It's all done. So it would probably be at the most another $2,500 maybe.
Yeah, because the 1,800 was not the electrics and that, so yes.
Well, I'm saying, so I have a hard bill here for phase 1 of for the phase 1 of $95,0911. I'll give you a copy of this
95 what?
card.
And that includes the electric?
No, so on top of that, if you want to throw in another $2,500 to do the whole building, and it probably won't be that much, and then another $2,500 worth of miscellaneous electrical and piping and conduit and things like that to complete the job. We added-
Why don't we
That's
just-
$14,509.
So if you say 15,000,
I'm going to say 15,000.
Yes.
Does anybody, I mean, I'm just looking at it, since we're
Well,
doing
it
it already, for $1,800 and then it's done. There was some conversation that you just put a new air conditioner, what, last year in for the fire department
The
there?
window, yeah.
The window one last?
Just the window.
The window, yeah,
That's
it's been
probably
5-6
4 or
years.
5, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I asked Earl about that, and he said, no, it's a pretty efficient one, and so what we talked about was, if we put it into there, and you still are using that one, we can, because it's zoned, or however you want to say it, we cannot air condition with the big unit in there, and then if yours goes kaput, then we can turn it on, so it wouldn't be a double.
Plus, yeah. Plus Wayne's will go away. Yours is pretty ugly from the outside.
Plus, as the public's listening, you know, we've been frugal years, and there we had some franchising money coming that came, and we need to address a couple, and I think the trustees' feelings are we need to give something back to the people to make that room more usable, more friendly to the rental, and it's getting enough use now, but certainly to bring it up from a 1973 standards is kind of the effort that I would say, spend the money now and let's get this done and let's give it back to the people and
Yeah, it's something that has to be done, and it's not going to get any cheaper.
No. No, and we are, and in all fairness we're using inside labor, or however you want to
In-house,
say
yeah.
it, and we're saving a lot of money by doing that. So,
certainly are when we heard those other numbers.
Yes.
That $15,000 doing it in-house is very...
it's about half the cost of what it would have been.
Okay, so we need to
Make a motion.
make a motion, but out of that motion, could we make a motion to write a check to Web Supply for,
Oh, this was the check you needed.
to get started? So,
Yes.
shall I make the motion? I'll make it.
Yeah.
I
So
will.
you need an additional
What was our total?
6,509. Are you going 15,000?
Yeah, we're going
So
15.
you need another 7,000 to make the 15. Is that what I'm
8.
understanding?
Yeah, 8 minus 15 is 7.
Yeah.
7,000 total. But out of that, so you're going to make I'll make the motion to approve up to $15,000 for air conditioning parts and assorted materials.
Now, wait a minute. If you already approved 8.
Oh, okay, well, change it then? How are we going to say that?
Just
So you
the
an
additional.
additional 7.
Okay, we're going to add 7 to our original 8 at the last meeting that we made, for a total of 15. For air conditioning
And
material,
miscellaneous
supplies,
associated.
and miscellaneous associated installation hardware.
And I believe you want to add on that check needs to be
Yeah,
made
and-
out by
and-
tomorrow.
And out of that, we would like a check made out to Web Supply for $9,509.11. Okay, we can give that to get started.
That check
And I'll
will
make
be
that
here tomorrow.
motion for additional $7,000 for the completion of that project and the miscellaneous associated. And in that motion, approve $9,509.11
509.11.
to be brought to Web Supply.
You seconded? Did you second?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought, and then you
Yeah,
started
we went
reading. I
backwards.
was through.
I cleaned it up.
Okay. Trustee Spellman.
Yes,
Trustee Tillman.
Yes.
Trustee Houston.
we
Yes.
cleaned it up.
Okay.
Bob, anything else in your committee reports with a stack of paper that big? Don't stop now, you're on a
And
roll.
that's the other important thing, as we're doing this project with Matt's credit card, we'll be buying a lot of this stuff, and
Yeah.
why we need the limit, just to reinforce that, that's all. Okay, let's see, we did the,
Where'd you stand with the signs?
the signs, well, it was the other thing, I was delaying ordering them because we got to put on a credit card, and it's going to be $2,500, he's got a $2,500 limit,
Okay.
so.
In other words, you're ready to order them.
Yeah, pretty quick, we're just trying to design to make it aesthetically pleasing That's the idea. So if you have any ideas, let us know. Other than that, we'll come up with something quick.
Okay.
Okay? That's it.
Okay, new business.
And I'll do a committee report. Just
Oh, I'm
finish
sorry.
that.
I apologize.
We certainly want to talk about the county roads, that we've had a lot of resurfacing, which is born out of the RUMAs, road utilization maintenance agreements, and certainly First Energy and some other oil companies have had participation. But if somebody would go on the county website, and you would see all these roads that are highlighted and Ellsworth Road. One of the problems is just in our township, and we're really grateful for that amount of paving, is that we have some high berms. Our fire department has identified with some accidents there. Talked to the county engineer about that. He said, you know, the emphasis has been on trying to get all the paving done before the window closes, and then to go back and address those high berms with aggregate. He said a phone call would be nice, but he has a complaint form online that I can use too. I said, well, if you don't return my phone call, I'll use that. So he's going to do those things. He's going to check with those contractors to get that. There was a standing water problem, and they've done some drainage there in Vault Road that they're going to address. And then, which brings us to the salt. I think everybody is working on this. I think that's if everybody's not aware, in the state of Ohio, the salt distributors and manufacturers have found other markets which drove the price up. I think they can create the demand by controlling the supply. We've seen that with oranges and coffee and everything else, but salt really got us this year. State senators have been called in on this. The governor has been called. Why did it go from $31 a ton to $130 a ton? Defies explanation, but they've said that they found other customers that drove that price up. So we met with the county engineers about that, and he wants to come up with a emergency protocol, what roads will get done first. He wanted to say they're going to cover as much as they can, you know, depending on the weather. They're limited to what salt they have. Many of the townships are limited what we can do because of the ability that they have a pug plant where they mix aggregate with salt. We don't have that. Places have silos of source salt. We don't have that. Many small townships don't have that. So for years we've had a mutual agreement with shared services with Lordstown, and it's worked out great. They cannot help us because Trumbull County is in the same situation Mahoney County is. The county engineer in Mahoney County said he's going to share information online, what they find. I've got a call into Lordstown about if we do get some salt, that we store it. And the thing with Lordstown, they load it 24/7. They have a full staff there to do that. So that's one of the options that we'll look at now. I know the other trustees are talking about the state may have some salt come available at $100 a ton. Does that sound like a bargain? But if that's the case, they're supposed to be able to try to afford some of that to the township. So we're going to continue to work on that. We have 1 month, I think, by our next meeting, we have to have a plan. Our contracted snow plower is helping also. Something that in the last case, guys, that you go to City Concrete, when a truck comes back and has some concrete left, they build these 6 foot long by 2 feet high and 2 feet. Tommy Mills has those up at his place. You've seen those up there. But they're concrete, and they have a bevel and an interlock. And we can build walls, let's say 4 feet high, 10 feet long, and maybe store some salt down at the cemetery. With our new piece of equipment, we could possibly load and do some salt, maybe in-house. We've always cautioned that because of the retention and runoffs and all that involved. You know, there's sensitivity about meander, and it's the last thing that we want to do, but we may have to do. So hopefully trustees will all have something to try to contribute to the answer to this problem by next month. That puts us in early November. So
How much storage can Jeff do?
Jeff even said that too. He said, I'm out of those concrete things, you know, to store what he has to do now, but he could modularize and do maybe more of those. So
if we'd help, maybe if we'd help him get those, he might be able to store the
maybe
salt
work
for us
together.
there.
That's a good idea, Chairman. That's a possibility. He said that too. You know, the first option should be some, you know, at Lordstown. Second option, if Mahoney County can help us or the state, but he did leave that option, so we'll talk about that, Fred. And I think we'll place a phone call with him. He said he's willing and able to do some things there, so.
Just
The last thing that we did, we talked about it on this road thing. We did have the county, Mr. Zetz helped out on Galt Road if we seen we had a repaving on the upper side of Galt Road. You come out of those S-bends, there's a person that had a drainage problem, and she talked to all of us at campaign time, and there has to be a catch basin. We talked about, even to the public, we talked at the county level that we can try to help out on some of the certain little things that we can possibly do. This may be a test that we try to do that with I think it's a foot-by-foot catch basin for a culvert driveway we talked about maybe placing. So that's something we may talk about with our maintenance department, our capability to see what we can do.
Sure. Do we have to get the approval from the county union?
Yeah, I think Chairman Houston was talking about that, and they were all willing, and then after the meeting, they're saying, wait a minute, this might cause a union problem. We might have a union problem.
Yeah, that
So
was my first meeting with
we
the
tested
county.
there.
I said since we have this piece of equipment now, if we have a driveway that a drain is plugged or something, is it okay to go out and do that? First of all, he said yes, and then he says, well, wait a minute. He says, before you do that, you better let me know so if I have union problems. So, he didn't tell us we couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think we can get away with one, and then we may hear something, but I think this group of trustees wants to give something back to the people. We know that we have 3 miles of township road. Most of them are county roads, and we do have problems in other places that they are slow to get to. They've been doing much better under this engineer.
Yes,
So we'll work on that one. You got some good ideas, Sheriff.
but, I think it needs to be said that our responsibility is to the people here. We don't have a responsibility to the county per se.
Especially
We do, but our first responsibility is to the residents of Ellsworth.
Especially a glaring problem when water's going over road and we have safety issues like we had up on that Galt Road, and I think the county found that out when they wrecked their truck, trying to clear it up. So they've worked on that with Mr. Zetz, that's worked with those owners. They did get a pipe in there, now it's just a catch basin. So we may be talking about that. Lastly, I had one of the natural gas companies got back to us just the day before yesterday, and they confirmed today that they were going to come down tomorrow, and this person's in charge of where expansions and possibility of expansions may come. They target population densities in businesses. They try to expand it and get as much bang they can for their buck. A lot of boring and things like that. So another gas company is going to come tomorrow. I know there was some work done by the businesses and Mr. Stanstrom years ago about usage and things. And there's a representative from Deal Lake coming, which is key to this whole thing. We were told there was only 6 families interested years ago. But I certainly know that everybody would be excited about hearing more options and less options as far as heating. When you paid what you paid for propane last year, and what my mom and anybody has fuel oil paid last year. And so at 2 o'clock tomorrow, anybody that can come is welcome to stop.
Where are you meeting at?
I was going to meet in his parking lot, Bob parking lot, and this isn't going to be a meeting, and the trustees aren't going to have a meeting, but there's going to be a representative give a presentation on that. So.
Well, you're going to be there, and
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, and my wife doesn't know it yet, but.
if you're going to be there, then you can fill the rest of us in, right?
Well, and anybody can come down.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've talked about this, guys. We have this furnace in here that's 1940. What do we think that thing is? And the businesses as we move forward. Lastly, the land use plan. They talked about business corridors and things like that. We all know that this will be definitely help us out here. We didn't mention the Karen. I don't know if you get to that, but we do trick or trunk chief. Bob, Ted, you guys, we changed the trick-or-treat to the Thursday night instead of the Friday night because kids in band, kids in football game, we have a lot of things that night. It's the last home game, senior night. So we're doing a trick-or-treat Thursday night.
Correct.
And the trick or trunk,
Sunday, the 4th, Sunday the 26th.
4 to 7, how long do we do that,
3
Karen?
to 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
And I think trick or treat on Thursday nights, 5
5
to
to
7.
7.
5 to 7.
Yeah. Could I ask you, I want to ask one thing, maybe I didn't catch it, but about the berms on the ends of the road, what'd they say, the county?
The county said the focus has been to get the pavement down before that window of opportunity and weather closes. And then they can come back and berm in bad weather.
They do realize that they should do something about it, or
Yes.
don't they feel they have a need?
Yes. They said that a lot of that was contingent upon the agreement with the paver that they do berming, in certain areas.
Okay.
And he said to do a follow-up call, but they're trying to get that before the window slammed on them about the weather here, about paving.
Sure. Good.
That's all, Chairman.
Sorry I didn't mean to go over you.
No, we did good on that.
Okay, now new business. Cover for the post office boxes. For anybody that's here that don't know, we got the new post office boxes. The township put the pad in for them. That was we done that. Postal Service come out and installed the new boxes. Postal Service, that's it, they're done. But the trustees feel that that's not fair to the residents, so we're looking at putting some kind of a roof over it, shielding it, especially in the winter time when it's snow, and in the summertime too when it's pouring down rain and one thing and another. So just kind of giving everybody up to date that may not know what we're talking about up here. With that, who wants to?
We're entertaining.
Who
Well,
wants?
just tell them what, you want me to tell them what some of the options were?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the options vary from just a simple cover over the top with open sides to partially enclosing some of it. Some people want to use like an aluminum roof. Others want to frame it out and put rolled metal and shingles. So there's a lot of options. We're just trying to decide what would look the best, work the best, and be the cheapest. Magic combination. Right? And I have no firm opinion. How about you? Yet. We're still looking.
I have no real firm opinion. I have some, but I don't have a firm one.
Yeah. Artie?
I like the idea of closing it in because the wind will do so many things on that corner. We have open fields at the Bison Ranch and the wind comes from the west there around that building. I think if we don't close that in, then we'll be maintaining snow in a slippery area there on that asphalt. Then we're putting the ice melt on it and things like that. And I think not everybody's there to maintain that. These boxes are intended for 24/7. This is their idea of reducing some of the things.
Yeah.
I think closing it in with 2 doors that we can go out the back someday and get to the pavilion is the way to go. And I think then it has to have a curb appeal. It has to look like it fits with our building. We really worked hard on our facilities to make them, even this building had a historic doctor come in and look, so we done historical preservation. Those buildings up there, I think they still need to look nice. People are kind of proud of our little post office that we're trying to hang in there, and I think it needs to look good. So some of that money is hard to spend, but it may be that's my opinion.
The only thing I will say about the closing in is if we close it in, I feel it has to be some type of clear plastic or something that you can see in. Only from the standpoint, if we put walls up there, you can't tell, when you go to get out of your car, you can't tell whether somebody's standing inside there waiting for you to come around the corner or not. So that's my only concern, is that I think it has to be done with some type of plastic. Maybe not full 8-foot plastics, but at least half of it has to be in plastic so that you can see in there.
Visibility.
Yeah, the visibility, because I want our citizens safe. I'm not saying that, we've got these nasty people around here. I don't mean to make it that, but there's always that possibility. But we could definitely have somebody from outside of the township come in. And so I think that.
Okay, so if anybody has any ideas, we're open to them. That's
And a light.
And lights. Well, of course.
Well, the lights, yeah, and that's something that can be taken care of. The other problem that we do have, and I didn't think to ask you, did Vicki ever get back to you about going on the internet, or do they still have to use the dish?
She contacted the post office, and they never responded.
Okay. if we do any, and what we're talking about, if we do any of the roof business or anything like that, it's going to block their dish. So they either will have to come out and remove and replace, move it someplace else and re-aim it. What we had asked her was whether there was a way that they could just do it on the internet and forget the dish, but we haven't got that resolved yet. So that's just another thing that goes along with putting this room up. We'll have to work that in. But well, what's your pleasures going on, gentlemen?
I like the openness. I like
Yeah,
the
like
clear glass,
visible.
the plexiglass or whatever we use there.
You see, I always kind of favored the bus stop kind of look, only because, and now I just realized why, because of its openness.
Yes.
And it's everything else, so.
And like I told you, the only problem, when we first started talking about this, that's what we kind of looked at, was going to like the bus stop type thing, go over them. My only problem was I couldn't find any of them that would go clear over to the building. I could get them to cover the boxes without any trouble, but I can't get it to go clear to the building. And I'm afraid if we don't go clear to the building, you're just going to become a snow dump. So that was the only problem with them. But
So maybe checking it a little more. We've had a bunch of estimates.
Yeah, and then there's some really good ideas out of several of them, and they present themselves with a good idea here, and then one over here. These good ideas of where the metal roof and 36-inch doors, which we have handicapped accessible. We want to make sure of that, and when we do that, we want to make sure that there's 2 entrances and exits to it for safety reasons. There's some good ideas in here. Maybe we're gonna have to tweak this thing just a little bit more, huh?
Sure. Well,
And the one guy talked about, and you and I were talking, I think it was the last bid that came in about putting walls up. And I didn't think about it until now, but we could probably put his walls halfway in plex, and the the plexiglass halfway up, and that would probably work.
It's a possibility.
It may give us room to build a little bench or shelf off the end where people can go open their mail, on the one side, that you'd have a wall, something to build it to, little shelf.
Do we feel like we have to get it settled tonight, or
I don't think I know enough to get it settled tonight, do you?
not really?
No.
I wish I did, because I'd
Yeah,
like
I
to
know.
get it done, make sure it's done before the weather turns bad. I don't know whether we're going to be pushing our time if we don't do something here pretty quick.
Yeah, I think one more month, I'll have clarity by then.
Yeah, we'll be a lot closer, I think.
That'll be pushing the middle of November. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, well, you know what, if the weather goes bad, the people will appreciate it a lot more.
You know what I think what's fair here, Chair, is I think everybody that has responded up to this point, then we put our list together, what we want how done, and then let them come back of what we feel that how we wanted it done, and then let them all have a second bite at the apple and be fair about it. And just say, we decided this is how we want it done.
Okay. Good enough. Discussion about the snow removal and salt, I think we pretty well went over that.
Well,
Is there something more we need to
you
talk about?
officially say that Jeff Williams is still with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's called you and I on that,
Yeah,
right?
I just didn't know if they knew, or that's all.
So unless there's something else, we'll skip over that. In review of the sign bids, I think we pretty well covered that.
Yeah, we're down, we're close, just aesthetically, got to work out some aesthetics.
Okay.
That's the surround on the sound chair?
Yeah, which is
trustee?
true, yeah.
Okay.
Announcements. Next regular meeting will be November 12th, 2014. And I want to impress upon everybody to remember to vote November 4th. It's not only a privilege, but a duty. And as far as I'm concerned, if you don't vote, don't complain about somebody that's in office. So please get out and vote. Okay, anything else from up here?
No, about that, we've been to many meetings about this 0.5% sales tax and the additional. They've earmarked a lot of this now. They're calling for safety and justice. There's parts of it, I've dragged my heels about, and I said it's hard for this trustee to accept those, and I'm talking just as a single trustee. I'm not trying to get anybody to endorse this, but certainly with the Sheriff Department and what we have in this part of Mahoney County, Ellsworth and Berlin, I certainly think that I can say yes because of the sheriff department. The other parts I'm going to continue to try to work at and to see more of the side of us trustees in our township, what we need also, so.
And I will concur with that.
I'll take it on too. We absolutely need the sheriff and everything he does for us, and we appreciate him.
They're the best bang for the buck. The other guys?
Yeah, no, we got to work on a few things in the county.
We do. Maybe we do.
Okay. Larry.
We'll start the back this time.
I'm going to start.
I'll pass. You caught me off guard.
Come back here.
Reserve your right to go back.
Yeah, go back.
Somebody circle the calendar. Matt, anything?
I just want to add what already said about the sheriff. There isn't a day go. The sheriff's here almost every day. I see them. They stop by the cemetery. They're up at the township building. We see them on patrol. I mean, they're out here a lot. So I'd hate to lose that.
Yeah, very good.
I'd like to work on a project with Matt on some of the past firefighters who passed away, put grave markers up for Maltese crosses at the cemetery and have a ceremony that would be included on Memorial Day for some of the past firefighters that passed away.
Sounds like a good idea. Go for it.
You don't get one yet, Mom.
I'm good.
I'm just curious, maybe while the chief's here, where are the locations of any emergency sirens in the township?
You mean the fires or the tornado sirens?
Tornado sirens.
Just one at the fire station. They were put up by the county. They're distributed by the county EMA, and because of our population, we were only allowed one, and they put it centrally located at our fire station. We would have to pay for an additional one. And we tried to get another one. I called EMA, and I worked with Artie before. We tried diligently to try to get one at Duck Creek and 224. I tried to get one down at Western Reserve and 224 to assist Western Reserve Lake, Western Reserve 45 to assist Western Reserve Lake and Goshen Township and that area, but we couldn't. They just don't have enough money.
Turning with the chief talking about, that was the third. We're third on that list as far as, and they're looking for contributions from monies to assist that to be part of that system. And I think the numbers were like $36,000 or something.
Wasn't it 30?
But we know we have one campus now. We used to have 3 schools, and those 2 schools that get the tone, the high school was kind of left out on that high plane and up there. This is where the chief was really, and I were thinking this is where we need to target, really to have, it's a high point, probably Mahoning County, one of the highest points, right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, it's
school.
one of the highest points.
And the siren be up there. I mean, that's where our most precious people are a good part of the day, So we're third on that list, and
So we've been trying, sir. So yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to say the sheriff goes up and down our road, Galt Road lot. We see him a lot there. I don't know if that means we're bad or what. He's on our road a lot.
He's watching you.
this is Ron and Jerry Banks. If you Ron was on our fire department for how long, Chief?
Oh, for quite a while. We were just talking about, we fought a number of fires together. Yeah.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah, you brought up something dealing with the P.O. boxes, safety and security. A question I've never asked and something I don't know about. How many security cameras does the township have around key points in the township?
None.
You talking on the road or buildings?
Fire
Anywhere?
station, any place.
Well, I did notice there are some cameras in the
We
fire
have
station.
them in the fire station, not outside.
Yeah. How many do you? I just noticed that the other day. I didn't
We
even know you had any.
have, let's see, 4 in the bay, 1 in the radio room.
8.
Oh, 8, I'm sorry, not 5, we have 8.
Do you record off those?
Yes, we do.
I mean, they've
They're all-
become so prevalent all over at intersections and other things, especially key areas. I was just curious, it might be something to consider.
Who wants to watch? You're going to watch them for us?
Sure.
Don't need cameras then, he's out there every day anyway.
You would camera.
Maybe if the sheriff gets their money, maybe we can talk them into watching the camera.
Yeah.
They can review it when they're sitting there. So.
Thanks, good advice.
Good
No,
advice,
that's-
but yeah.
I guess most people have them, and we just don't yet. So.
Mhm.
We just have them in the fire station just for the, for the equipment, and things like that. Yeah, security.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes, I want to remind everybody that a week from today, right here, there is going to be a general public meeting presenting the zoning land use program, and that'll be run by our consultant, George Smerigan. And that'll be at 6 o'clock next week, right here, October the 15th.
And that will be your last public meeting before you decide on it? Or don't know yet?
Hopefully, that'll be up to the public. If they have some significant changes to make to that plan, it'll certainly be considered.
Okay.
There's some copies up here tonight that if...
Yeah, if somebody wants a copy, they're right there.
And the cop.
No, nothing, thanks.
Shelley?
I was just saying, I like the sign, Matt, that you guys put up on the sheriff's sign. Could you put a light on it, though?
There's one next to it.
Kind of cool. Could we put a light on it?
Though? I didn't think it lit it up.
We were actually.
Shelley got them solar ones that clipped on our gutters, and I think that's for see when I come home. She's, I'm a roamer.
We were actually talking about putting a light on that and the one at the road too. So.
It would look good on the building, because you really can't see.
Yeah, there's a little light next to it.
Don't forget your zoning permit.
For your building over the post office boxes too.
Well, we're sensitive to the issue.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Up here, anything? Motion to adjourn then?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Chairman.
At 8:08.
Something like that?
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
All in favor, aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Hey, you know what? I can give you a